Allison Mahoney, the Singing Baker. And this holiday season, I am collaborating with Nunbelievable Cookies to come up with some incredibly delicious recipes using Nunbelievable's amazing cookies that are helping to stamp out hunger one cookie at a time. That's right, for every cookie you buy, they donate one meal to a person in need. And I just think, wow, that's incredible on its own. But then to make these cookies completely guilt-free because you're giving and getting at the same time, what could be better? So Nunbelievable and I talked to each other and we said, how can we inspire people to buy even more cookies during the holiday season? And we came up with these incredible recipes that we hope you're really gonna love. Today, I am making a twist on a classic. Ready? Peppermint whoopie pies! These are no bake. Why? Because we are using Nunbelievable's delicious cookies as our cookie base. So we're making the buttercream and the ganache, and that's it. That makes this a perfect recipe to do with the family. We're all creating new traditions this year, so why not add this to those new traditions? So I'm going to start by making chocolate ganache. I know when I say ganache, it sounds super, super scary, but I promise you that it isn't. Once you see this recipe and how easy it is, you're gonna be putting ganache in and on literally everything. So I'm going to take my heavy cream and only 1/4 of a cup and put it into a small saucepan. There we go. And I'm going to put that on medium-low heat. And what I'm waiting for is for the edges to bubble. And once the edges, you don't want it a roiling boil. You want it to bubble along the sides. Once it bubbles, you take it off the heat and you add your chocolate. Meanwhile, I'm telling you, this is a very quick recipe. I'm going to take my room temperature butter. Mine is a little on the cool side, but hopefully it'll work. And 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, which I say cream cheese to yes to cream cheese really anytime. But the holiday season, I put it on pumpkin bread, cranberry bread, really anything I can get my hands on that I think cream cheese would be delicious with, I do it. So I'm a cream cheese fiend. I just think it makes everything taste better. Cool. And I'm going to take my paddle attachment and give that a mixy-mixy. And look, the timing is perfect because now my heavy cream just started to bubble. I took it off the heat and I'm going to take my chocolate chips. Turn this off for a second. And I'm going to do 1 cup of chocolate chips. Now I'm using dark chocolate chunks because my husband is crazy for dark chocolate. But if you really like milk chocolate or semi-sweet chocolate, whatever you have in the house, you can use. You can even use white chocolate if you wanted to. That's right, you can use white chocolate and make the same ganache with this recipe. Now I'm just going to go like this and shake it a little to make sure that the hot cream gets all over the chocolate. I'm going to set that aside for about, I don't know, 3 minutes, as long as it takes to make these frosted. So let's give this a mixy-mixy. And I just want you to see what it looks like before I start adding other ingredients. So it's super creamy. It's sort of spread out along the bowl. That's what you want it to look like. Now you know that both your cream cheese and your butter are well incorporated. Perfect. I'm just sort of scraping down the sides so that it's all in the middle. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of confectioner's sugar. Well, I recently made my own confectioner's sugar and I have to say it's quite easy and it really helped me at a pinch when I was out of confectioner's sugar and I needed some for a recipe, and I made it. It is easier to buy it, but it was actually quite easy to make. I was surprised. So that was 1 cup, and this is 2 cups. And we're gonna give this, I made a mess. I always say if you make a mess in the kitchen, you're doing something right. And I'm just gonna give this a mixy-mixy. While we're waiting for that to come together, let's go back to our chocolate ganache. And I'm just going to give this a mixy-mixy to make sure Yeah, that it's coming together. Oh my gosh, it looks like chocolate milk goodness right now. Yum, yum in my tum-tum. Yeah, so this is coming together. You want it to be glossy and smooth. And the reason you take the cream off of the heat is that you don't want to overheat your chocolate. Chocolate can go over really fast, so you want the chocolate to sort of just ooze right into the cream so it gets creamy, glossy, and delicious. Good. We're doing two things at once. I love it. So this is what it should look like. It should be really glossy and beautiful and really smooth like that. So this is perfect to work with. So we're gonna work with this first before we turn our attention back to the buttercream. So I like to sort of play with flavors and add things to make things a little bit more over the top. I mean, why not? It's the holiday season, right? If you're not gonna go big now, when are you? So to really make this special dessert, I decided to use the chocolate ganache to kind of, you know, up my game. So I'm going to take one of my Nunbelievable chocolate chip cookies, which are gargantuan, and I'm going to just place it in to my chocolate ganache. And I'm gonna get a nice, thick, beautiful layer of chocolate. Look at how gorgeous that is. Look how shiny it is, and look at the size of this cookie. What? Okay, I'm just gonna place that onto a parchment lined cookie sheet. And I'm going to do it with one of my double chocolate chip cookies. Yum, 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 yum. And the great thing about the double chocolate chip cookie is that if you use it, it's completely gluten-free, which means that the dessert is gluten-free, which is fantastic. Okay, and one more. Perfect. Oh my God. I saw that. Patience, my darling, patience. Okay, so we set that aside. Now, let's check on my buttercream. Now, my buttercream looks great. However, this was just like a slow mix. I actually have a secret for making buttercream that's really fantastic. Now, when you're making American buttercream like this, it'll get really sticky. So you wanna make sure that you turn it on low. So if your mixer on low, you make sure that everything gets incorporated. Once it gets incorporated, you wanna ratchet it up to high to get air in it. And this is when we dance. We dance, we dance. We mix and dance, mix and dance. Mix and dance, mix and dance. Mix and dance, mix and dance. I don't know. Every time I do it, it's a different dance, it's a different song. You just gotta roll with it. Okay, so this is the exact right consistency that I want. See how it's really light and fluffy now? It has this great texture. It's really holding its shape. That's what you want your buttercream to look like. Now, I'm going to add to this, I don't know, about a quarter of a cup of peppermint. I don't want to overwhelm with the peppermint flavor. You want it to taste like peppermint, but you don't want it to be like overwhelming that it's all you taste, right? And because we're going to use the rest of these for decoration, this is enough peppermint for me, but if you like more peppermint, you can add peppermint extra. You could even put a cup of peppermints in there. And you could use peppermint candies or you can use candy canes. I use candy canes, but peppermint candies work just as well. And I'm just gonna give that a quick mixy. Great, and it's done. That's it. That is it. So like 10 minutes maybe it takes to make this entire recipe from start to finish. So I'm just gonna scrape my bowl quickly. I'm gonna show you how to assemble it. Now, this isn't a neat dessert. Like, you're not gonna make this and it's gonna be super neat, which is why it's really fun to do with families. It's a little messy, but like I said, if you're not making a mess in the kitchen, you're probably not doing something right. You know, that's what dishwashers, husbands, are for. So I'm just scraping the bowl to make sure that everything comes together, and so you can see, it's not a ton of frosting, but it's exactly what I need for this recipe. Now I'm going to take a cookie scoop. If you don't have a cookie scoop at home, it's totally fine. It's about 2 heaping tablespoons. I'm talking heaping tablespoons of buttercream for each of these. You want to make sure that you're matching the level of the cookie that you have. So I'm just going to take my cookie and I'm going to put a huge, look at that, Yeah, that's a lot. That's like a dollop. And I like to set these up more like a assembly line. It just makes it easier to put them together if I'm doing them on my own. And here we go, another one. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Oh, and it's a little pink, which is really charming. You know, it has like, you can see the pink coming through and the buttercream. Gorgeous, gorge. Okay, now my chocolate isn't completely set. You have two options. You can have the chocolate get like oozy and gorgeous, which is sort of what I'm obsessed with. But if that's not really your thing, you don't want it to get oozy and gorgeous, you'd want to take the cookies with the chocolate ganache and just put them in your freezer or your refrigerator for about 5 minutes, just so it sets a little, so it doesn't get oozy. For me, I think oozy is better. I think it looks like creamy and delicious and like a holiday bonanza, but it's totally up to you. It's whatever you like. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. So I'm going to take the top that has the frosting, the bottom that has the chocolate ganache, and I'm just gonna give it a squeeze like that. Look at how gorgeous that is already. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Okay, and now I'm going to take some of my crushed peppermint candy and I'm just going to roll this into the peppermint candy so that I get a nice layer of peppermint on the outside. And then you just repeat it. And remember, if you're using the double chocolate chip gluten-free cookie, this recipe is completely gluten-free. And you could use, you know, if you like peanut butter with peppermint, you should use the Nunbelievable. Any of the Nunbelievable cookies would be great for a recipe like this. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It's like a giant cookie hamburger. Ah! It's so good. Okay, there's one more. Oh my goodness. It's just like watching the whole thing squeeze and the chocolate melt is just like such a stunner moment. And then again, you're just gonna put this into your peppermint so you get a nice, awesome layer of peppermint. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. These are so incredible and they're so easy to make. If you're looking for this recipe and more, please be sure to follow me at Singing Baker. That's at Singing Baker, and follow Nunbelievable. They will be sharing this recipe and more throughout the holiday season. And remember, for every cookie you buy, you donate one meal to a person in need. You can help stamp out hunger. See you next time. Happy holidays.